Welcome back to Crash and Eddie. It is March 3rd. I'm Eddie. Crash. Man, there's a lot going on. We got a heck of a show with one of your favorite tokens to review today.
Yeah, funny. Yeah, thanks a lot for bringing up a token that's ranked 92.
All right, let's take care of some housekeeping here. First of all,
Yeah, like subscribe, like, bell button, all, please.
yup, and Crash, I don't know if you noticed, it's kind of a rite of passage for the show. About a week ago, we got our first thumbs down. Our first thumbs down. So someone cared enough to give us a
Well, that
thumbs
was
down.
yeah, that was right after the show you did by yourself.
Hey, right. Probably. I don't remember. I thought it was after the Stellar one, but you're
It's also the show that we got like double the views that we've ever had. So I'm just yanking your chain.
no. It's all good. It's an interesting thing, this YouTube algorithm. We're figuring it out, and it's just we just want to build our audience. So subscribe if you think of it, and give us a like or a dislike, and tell us what you had for doggone dinner.
Yeah,
And
comment.
Crash, we are extending our sale, really giveaway for subscriptions through the end of this week. Let's just do the end of this week.
Yep, yep. You can subscribe, no cost to you.
So what's going on in the markets, Crash?
Well, you know, a pretty substantial in all the currencies. Um, it you know it, basically it Bitcoin took itself above the 20-day rolling average, and I believe it's still above the 20-day rolling average, which is very bullish. If we close today above that 20 day rolling average, I think we are in for another pump. Um, really seems that way.
Yep,
We've
just
had a
under
nice, yeah.
51,000.
Pardon?
Just under 51,000 right now.
Yep, yep. And what was I going to say?
So, yeah, that's let's see here.
All right, let me
Okay,
comment
so
on Bitcoin again.
yeah, you wanted to talk about some Bitcoin. You got some further
Yeah, yeah. Just
comments.
real quick, if we close above this 20-day moving average, there's a good chance we're going to pump, and it's the next support level or resistance level is between like 65,000 and 70,000. So that could be a substantial upswing that we're gearing into now. There's two things that concern me that can disrupt all of that. Number one would be a major downturn in the stock market. If we see that the stock market and the cryptocurrency markets have been very correlated, if we do see a downturn or a major shift in the stock market and it going down, it could be a reason for the crypto market to decouple from the stock market, because the momentum of crypto is heading in one direction, and a lot of indications are that the momentum of the stock market is going in a different direction. And if we get a decoupling of those two markets, that could be a game changer in a positive way for cryptocurrency. The second thing is, with this tether settlement in the state of New York's attorney general, there's a lot of chatter about New York not being able to cover a lot of the jurisdictions because tether is used all over the globe. That they may be looking at another lawsuit from the feds, from the SEC, or from the Department of Justice against Tether. And if that happens in the next month or two, that could be very troubling for the crypto markets. So at this point, everything is very optimistic, but those are the two things that really concern me going forward that could, well, they could send the crypto market down, but it could just cause it to stall. Or I think if there was a decoupling from the stock market, it could be a massive rally.
Right. Well, one thing
That's
we know for sure is that it's going to go up and it's going to go down. It's
one
going to
thing
go
we
up.
know for sure is that it's all percentages. It can go up and down at any time for any reason at any moment. We just look at what are the percentage likelihood of it going one direction or another.
Right. And so, couple things. I mean, on the Tether stuff, boy, first of all, I'm going to say I've never seen as much FUD as I've seen in the last week. I mean, it's like the ultimate in fear, man. I mean, they just do not. Now it's another lawsuit. That's usually with the U.S. legal system. That's why I was kind of surprised that it would get done. I don't think that now the SEC is going to come after them after they've paid this fine and been banned from New York. And they have to give all their information to New York. So they're dealing with the regulators. And that's who they've kind of been assigned to. So
that doesn't mean there's not parties or influencers out there that can trigger another lawsuit to add to the FUD.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
But I just see more and more. I think the U.S. government and the globe wants these inflated now because it's a global currency, and it's where the new world order is going, really. And when you get to a one world economy, you notice all these, they're by definition, these things are global. Every stinking one of them.
Well, very
So
much. Yeah, and they should be.
it's interesting. The other thing is, as far as the markets go, if there's a big tanking in the market, which is more, the fear that's out there and that, I mean, that is assuming by definition they stop printing, okay, and we're about to release 1.9 trillion, okay, and then we got JY Miss Yellen with another trillion on the side that she's gonna pour into stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't. You're kind of saying the printing presses are gonna, and some people think that they're gonna come to a halt, but I see a more likelihood that we go to negative interest rates along with the rest of the globe. I mean, we're fighting it, but you notice now, like the 10-year. Last time we got up to 2.5. Remember, and the Fed's like, okay, we're gonna raise rates. We're gonna raise rates. So they could do that for like a couple weeks before a complete collapse,
Right.
and they got up to like 2.5%. Now, really, there's kind of a wall at 1.5, 1.75. Can't really seem to get above that.
All right.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
I'm
see.
just saying those are the two things that concern me.
Yeah, I mean, and they're valid. I mean, they're definitely valid. It's just follow the money. Follow the money, and institutions are pouring in like never before. The only big ones that haven't said anything are Amazon and Apple.
Uh-huh.
Google's setting up MetaMask now and different links for crypto.
Uh-huh.
It's
It's all bullish, but the cent- S the CB, they're not going to give it up without a fight.
right. Well, that's the thing, though. That's global. That's globalization, and that's why I
Mhm.
think these are all part of their game. I think they're absolutely part of it. They control these. I think to a large extent, and they want the liquidity and
Hmm.
yeah. So, whew, there's a lot going on. So All right, couple things. I want to go back for XLM Stellar. We left some stuff hanging open. Jeb McCallum received 8 billion tokens of the 100 for basically building the XRP ledger. And he gets that. They didn't say really, I don't think they've released exactly the schedule, but it's over years. He'll get, I think
Mm-hmm.
less than a billion a year or a billion, maybe a little bit more over the next few years or whatever. And then he can only sell a certain percentage of the float. So as XRP trades more, he can sell more.
Yeah.
So that's that. I wanted to loop back on that because I want to give these guys the best information that we can.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then on VeChain, they started in 2015 developing, and they built for 2 years and then released it originally again on an ERC20, and then went through their reorg, and that's why you see some different things with like the pricing and that, because they were not integrated, this VTHO and VeChain, the same as they are today. But they had a major hack of 1.1 billion in 2019 where they lost their CFO
Mm-hmm.
and almost had a huge issue with that. But so that's just a little bit more on VeChain. VeChain's at a little over 5 cents today.
Are you going to list that link on that VeChain article?
I got it from multiple sources, so probably not.
Yeah. Well, the one that you put up today that I read, that was a
Oh,
very very interesting article
yes, yes, yes.
on VeChain
VeChain's
talk.
becoming the AWS of public blockchains. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, with
yeah. Let's hit
the
this real
tool
quick
chain.
because
Yeah.
yeah, that's So yeah, I got it up. It's a recent report by Cream, a blockchain incubator, delved into the VeChains doing blockchains what Amazon Web Services did to software. VeChain was focused on making its blockchain plug and play with toolchain, enabling businesses to get into blockchain with no major technical expertise. And boy, I see this. They're picking up a lot of newer blockchains, and then some are moving into them. And they have this VIP 180. It's basically like an ERC20. It's like their
Mm-hmm.
version of that. Between them and ADA, really,
Mm-hmm.
is you see a lot of people either starting over or moving over. They're just not starting on Ethereum because it's a nightmare, and they're going to
Yeah,
choose.
because same with Neo.
Yes, yeah. Neo, man, you don't hear much about them, but yeah, are people building on them?
Yeah, they
I mean,
must be.
obviously they are, but yeah,
I mean, they're ranked number 30.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
So
I don't know. I like them because they haven't had a huge amount of growth, and but from what I understand, their technology is pretty darn good.
yeah, um,
But they're
but
not
you
very good at marketing.
talk about a major hassle. Though I can't think of one that's more in business than changing your underlying blockchain infrastructure. I mean, it is when these like Singularity Net was talking about moving to ADA, and it's a debacle, man. I mean, it's a serious commitment, and you're looking for something that's going to last forever. And people are just coming to the realization. And I'm not saying again, no advice on this channel, no financial advice. Do your own research, but I don't really. Obviously, Ethereum's got a place, but to build on it, I don't know who in their right mind would build on it right now with the issues that they have. And when people are going to such lengths to leave them, and a lot of times you do a side chain and then you discontinue and all this stuff. I mean, crypto.com's doing it. Another good example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
It's a huge endeavor, and it to me it makes sense. And it's just like how I guess store value. It can still be a huge store value, and I don't know.
Well, I mean, as a business model, the blockchain that you're running on is critical to the livelihood of your business, right?
Right.
So I think a lot of these bigger businesses, they want their own block that they control,
Right.
and they don't want a lot of with Ethereum, you're getting a lot of updates and level twos and all these different things that can get mixed up and confused. Um,
Right.
yeah,
So
or
there's
hacked,
some. Go. What'd you say?
or hacked possibly, or
Right.
it causes security issues with data.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a big deal, and these, the major tokens that people are, I think, going to be super successful with are these, utility or these main tokens that other people are building businesses on their token. It's their own token, but it's the underlying token is actually it's ADA or it's the
Hmm.
VIP 180, which is VeChain. So an interesting note on this is just weaving in XRP a little bit. Casino Coin came out, and what they did is they knocked off the XRP ledger and did their own blockchain basically. And this was, I don't know, year and a half ago, I want to say.
Hmm.
And it became apparently, and I didn't get into exactly technically why, but it became unmanageable to the point where they decided, you know what, we're done. We're going back to the XRP ledger, and now they're just on the XRP ledger.
Hmm.
So instead of knocking off, and here's what happened to their token when they announced this, it
Ah,
skyrocketed.
look at that.
Yeah, so it went up like tenfold or something over, and that's just from. And I think what it comes down to is, yeah, it's open source, and that's all good, and you can deal with that. But when you build right on that XRP ledger, you have a certain level of like ownership as far as like they're gonna make sure the tech is right. It's not gonna get screwed up.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just knock it off and then start manipulating it and changing it, I
Yeah,
mean,
maybe that's what Ethereum is doing. They're getting their ducks in a row. They're letting people leave and try it themselves, and so a lot of them are going to fail, and they may come back and be 10 times stronger than they are now. Who knows?
they might accept they're going to superior technology. I mean, it's not even close. I mean, from what I've heard, like ADA would be like Ethereum, not 2.0, but like 3 or 4.0. So they're
Mm-hmm.
2 years out to 2.0. And
Mm-hmm.
and now ADA's got 2 years to continue to advance. I mean, it's not even close. So it's not like they're going off and trying to manipulate an Ethereum blockchain. They're going off to a rock solid ADA or VeChain or XRP ledger that they're not going to screw it up. you know, it's the
Yeah.
competition is formidable.
Well, maybe ADA is the next version of Ethereum. Maybe they're all collaborating. Who knows?
It's they work together, but I mean, Hoskinson. He's been after this for a long time,
Yes, he has.
and these people are smart. It's all get out.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that was some XRP news. The other thing is Gensler had his with the SEC lawsuit. He had his hearing yesterday, and
Yeah, who is this?
Gensler is going to be the new head of the SEC.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes.
So they're kind of thinking the lawsuit can be settled once he gets in place, or you'll know if it's not going to be. But it's kind of been at a standstill until he gets in place. And his hearing was yesterday, and then we'll kind of see where it goes from there. But that's a big deal. He taught at MIT. Ripple actually funded a ton of the MIT research. So it's kind of funny, man.
Yeah, he knows all those guys probably.
These people are so connected. It's such a small world. It's fascinating, but yeah. So that went down, and then the other thing is, man, if you pay attention to Flare Finance and the Flare network, they're doing the public betas now where you can like test staking and farming and all this stuff, and boy, that's going to be something else. So it's really technical. It's for people that are more into it as far as your technical skills with crypto, but it's something that you definitely want to keep an eye on and look on. And a lot of these too, like all these coins, I mean, you get such an incentive for being early. The early adopters on any coins, because you get more coins because they're valued so much less.
Yeah.
And then as success
I
comes,
did a beta with that hyper, that Udo coin.
yeah,
I mean, because it's there that hyper.com, and it's still in its beta testing. But I'm on there and I'm using it and I'm giving them feedback.
yeah.
And
What are you finding so far with that? How you?
I have a little system for a short market update I do every morning for friends of mine on Telegram, and it's working very smoothly.
So that's a hyper video that then you post on Telegram.
Yes.
Okay.
And I can post it on LinkedIn. I can post it on Facebook. I can post it anywhere.
Okay, so you're having a pretty good experience. Here's what
Yeah,
I got Udo up.
Oh yeah,
Up
thanks.
right now. Let's see what it's kind
Yeah, they've
of.
been bouncing around. How long of a chart is that? Oh, that's from
That's an all-time.
all the way back.
Actually.
Oh, that's all. Yeah, all time.
Yeah, what is their all-time? It's not that long, right?
That seemed much longer than what I thought.
Looks like January 19 it goes to. Let's see. They have going back all-time low. It looks like they came out in 19 sometime, September of 19-ish.
Yeah, that would make sense. They've been building for quite a while.
Bouncing around, but I like to look at the volume on the bottom because that's when you really see, okay, stuff's happening. These areas where it's not doing much, but you also see there's no volume. And notice when there's spikes, there's volume, but now it's consistent volume picking up, and so it's more to market. So
yeah, well, they're in their beta stage, so until they hit the ground running and they're in full operation with the video platform, which competes with YouTube, and with Hype, which competes with Facebook. That's when we're going to see some real growth. Because that Udo coin's used to tip content. That's what you use it. You can pay people who have good content and you like it. You can throw them some Udo coin.
4 centavos. That's That's up there. It's moving along. That's interesting. Okay. Well, let's get rolling here. What do we got for Wall Street bets to launch DeFi protocol? What's going on with this? Compat Institutional.
Oh, scroll down to the summary is kind of, I think, is this the one
SEC's enforcement division goes into overdrive.
Yeah, they're coming after any of these companies that, well, when DeFi, right? DeFi is what drove all these people to short or buy the GameStop and wreck the shorts that people had, right? That Wall Street had.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Did DeFi do that?
Well, yeah, through Reddit.
Oh, Reddit did it. I mean, that was just a bunch of people on Reddit.
Yeah, well, they're just talking about how the SEC's coming, they're coming after some of the DeFi platforming because it's going to disrupt a lot of the current system.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be talk about disruptive. I mean, it's the whole financial system. It's just it's people do not get what's going on here. I mean, it's going to be mayhem, and I feel like a lot of it is getting kicked off right now. These things are being launched now. Everyone's getting into DeFi, and this Flare network, it's just more DeFi, and it's I mean, it's not going away. That's where they act like, oh, we're thinking of banning crypto, and I don't know. I don't think it's going to be able to survive. And all this. It's like, what? You can't stop it, and these places want it. I mean, you're flipping around trillions a day. That is a complete debacle without crypto. So. It's not going away, and it's just a matter of how it's going to disrupt. And that's why you see Goldman Sachs. I mean, that was another big news item this week. Goldman Sachs reopening their crypto desk. Oh, really?
Their Bitcoin desk.
Yeah, it's only Bitcoin, right? So you're not going to trade anything else. Okay, guys. You're going to trade whatever makes money, and there's a ton to be made out there. So they're not. I mean, these big companies, they're in it because it is going to go around, and we'll see how the SEC handles it. But so yeah, there's this one, and then you had Jack Dorsey and Jay-Z set up Bitcoin trust worth 500.
No, that's not the one. It was above that. The one Robinhood. Robinhood now faces 49 lawsuits after trading restrictions.
What the?
Go to news.
Where the?
And really,
was that in the Tokenist?
Yes.
Okay.
So the summary reads: the more these lawsuits become part of public discourse, the more independent investors may prefer to move away from these platforms, and this migration will end up bringing the real change that many investment industry stalwarts have been advocating for a long time, the increased adoption of DeFi. The time when DeFi innovation like synthetic assets enter the mainstream to offset the disadvantages of centralized financial platform could be just around the corner. So, Robinhood is, they're an SEC based company. They're, some of the DeFi stuff is just going to completely disrupt this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been a fan of Robinhood.
No, and what I didn't know is I knew they sold people's data, but what I didn't know is they sold it to hedge funds so that hedge funds can front run the public. That's what I found out through this, and that is fascinating and so evil, man. That's just wrong.
Yeah.
And then they put it out as trade for free. How is that legal to the public? Again, protecting individual public investors. Thank you.
Yeah, if it's free, beware.
Yeah, there's no free lunch, so
kind of like our free subscription right now. It's free to subscribe to Crash and Eddie.
Yeah, there's very few free lunches, I should say. That is a doggone buffet, is what it is.
Well, we gave up one of our biggest income streams by making that free.
That's true. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, so let's get to some energy web token. How about it?
Yeah.
All right, so here's the deal, people. Just so you guys know how we're playing this at Crash and Eddie. Crash is going to keep you guys as safe, as stable as possible. And Eddie is determined
To
to
lead you
introduce.
down a rabbit hole.
I'm gonna drag you. I mean, you do stick with quality. I'm a huge believer in that, but I'm gonna drag you guys through the weeds a little bit and introduce you to some up and comers, some stuff that's maybe not as discovered but interesting, and just make you think a little bit. And and Crash he likes this stuff too. He doesn't want to admit it because he's got to be all conservative in that, but. Anyway, so today's token is Energy Web Token EWT. So that is, let's see here.
And I think we can say that neither of us, I certainly don't own any of this. So
I have not downloaded their wallet, if that's what you're thinking. No, I have
they even
not.
have a wallet?
Sure they do. I don't actually. I don't know if they do, but this is very this is very B2B. It's it's more
Oh,
back
yeah.
end, with it's ranked 92, okay, overall, at least on CoinMarketCap. So it's a little bit down there, but this is from my research, this is the premier energy token, period. I haven't found one that in 2017 a lot of energy tokens came out. They were
Hmm.
all pretty much garbage, and they all either don't exist. They were marketing hype and trading systems and all this stuff. They had a lot of promise. This one is pretty much the premier energy token if you want to get into energy. And energy is it's obviously a big sector.
But it moves slow. It's like a battleship.
Right now it does. Yeah,
You
and
try to
and
turn that ship, it's going to take a long time.
yeah, and I think a big piece of that is use case, because a lot of the ones that we're talking about, like Stellar, it's in use literally. It's not
Uh huh.
not heavily, not super as much, but it is in use. So is pretty much all the ones that we've talked about to this
Yeah,
point.
they have a track record, and
Yeah, this one not so much, but boy, they got partnerships. They got big partnerships that are backing this now, and it's pretty much every big web company or energy company. So token wise, these guys, one thing that is pretty respectable is they have a low token supply. They have
yeah, I was a little shocked by that. I thought it'd be a lot higher.
yeah, what do they
It's
have
100 million tokens.
yeah, 100 million, yeah, 100 million max supply. They got 30 out there. Well, actually they have 48 total supply, but I think they can go up to 100, and they have 30 out there so far. So pretty low for tokens that are
Hmm.
out there, for the amount of tokens, I should say.
Hmm.
So this is the all-time graph. Also has not been out that long, really. I mean, it's only been since 20, really. Came out in 20, so low of
Hmm.
50 cents. High, it's trading near the all-time highs. It's 1829. So that is that. We got a quick video. Actually, it's a little significant, but again, with our videos too, you guys listen. It's advisable to listen to the entire video for any of them that we post, because you're going to learn some stuff and be entertained. But you'll definitely
Yeah.
we don't post them for no reason. We're posting them so you guys have really good information. You don't have to search around for it. So.
Yeah. So if anybody listens to this video and can comment on what I'm probably thinking as far as the fundamental
Where are you going with this?
information, the foundation of what they're talking about that is probably not even correct, kind of like the Rona, um,
So we'll talk about it.
having to do
Let's.
with climate change.
Yeah. So okay. So let's hold on one second here. Okay.
To explain that, I'm going to have to take a step back and briefly talk about the grid. In a nutshell, it's just an interconnected network for delivering electricity from producers to consumers. This includes power generating stations that produce the power, electricity substations, power transmission lines, and distribution lines that bring electricity into our homes. Yes, there is a massive transformation going on right now in energy markets, and that would be the shift to clean energy. The best way to think about the scale of the grid is with some numbers. Globally, large energy companies spend about $750 billion a year on the grid. By 2050, you, customers and companies will be spending trillions of dollars on the grid. What that means is that the primary investor in the grid in the future will be us and not utilities. So here's the big question. What the heck are we investing in? Are we going to be investing in electric wires and coal-powered power plants? No. We'll be investing in solar, wind, electric vehicles, smart thermostats, and devices that allow us to control the energy we use. These are the future assets that will form the backbone of our future electricity system. Now, I know what you're thinking. Guy, we already have wind farms and Teslas. And you'd be completely correct here. However, here's the problem. Those energy assets are completely siloed and independent of how the grid works today. That's where Energy Web comes in, with the goal of connecting that infrastructure between different devices that customers are investing in and the utilities. So knowing all that, it should make a lot more sense what Energy Web is talking about on their website when they say things like, quote, Energy Web is accelerating a low-carbon, customer-centric electricity system.
So, Crash, you are saying that basically it's a hoax and we don't need this, is what you're saying.
Well, they're selling the whole climate change and, the whole
right.
whole planet's going to come to an end if we don't have wind and all this other clean energy, which I'm all for clean energy. I don't, in a logical way, but the way they're
right,
it can also be used.
But do you agree, though, that regardless of if we need it or it's exaggerated or any of that stuff, it's happening and they're doing it, right?
Yeah. I mean, it is setting up a grid, basically the whole electrical grid onto a blockchain. And, it's going to cover everything from producers to consumers. It's going to be a shift to clean energy, whether it's solar or wind. I kind of like their tagline, really. I think that really says more than anything about what they're trying to achieve, which is Energy Web accelerating a low-carbon, customer-centric electricity system.
Right. It pretty much says it all. Mm-hmm. Okay, hold on
here. Under the hood. So, the first thing to note is that Energy Web has created its own virtual machine called the Energy Web Decentralized Operating System, or UDOS for short. The way to think about that is that it's the full tech stack of Energy Web, and that this stack is made up of three main components. The first component is the Energy Web chain at the base of the stack. This is a public proof of authority chain, POA. So, it's essentially permissionless, and that is completely public on the access layer. This basically enables any developer, company, or device to access the network. Now, I know what you're thinking. Blockchains consume a tremendous amount of energy, which means this so-called green project is being completely hypocritical. Well, you're right in thinking that. The Bitcoin network uses up about the same amount of energy as a medium-sized country. However, what proof of authority means is that the Energy Web chain consumes about as much energy as a medium-sized office building. So, yeah, Energy Web has a damn energy-efficient chain, and that's thanks to that POA design. Another thing to note is that the validators on the Energy Web chain are permissioned. These are made up of organizations in the Energy Web ecosystem. Yet another reason why onboarding key companies from the energy sector is so important. So at a chain level, you have permissionless on the top and permissioned on the bottom. That brings me on to the question of why...
Okay, so, and you saw just the players that they have involved. I mean, this is happening. There's no question that it's happening. Timing is always everything, but I think this is the premier energy token, and when you have those many energy players involved, seems like it's happening.
Well, I agree it is going to happen. My question is, which one of these huge energy companies is just going to buy them? So over all of it?
I am so curious to see how the M&A even works in crypto, because there has been so little of it. There's been some companies that have gone under. We know how that works. But as far as like M&A for these crypto companies or non-crypto to crypto, I can't think of any yet that has happened. Maybe it has.
That's a very good point.
But it's going to be interesting because it's a totally different... You have tokens, they're all global. I'm sure you could scoop up everything with all the tokens outstanding, but they're decentralized. So can you? I mean,
No.
That's going to be something really cool to watch, is just see how the M&A plays out. So hold on a second.
If it can, maybe it can't. I mean, there's going to be some that I guess it's depending on how tokens or cryptocurrencies are designed and what platforms they're on, there may be mechanisms of acquisition, but
Right.
you can't buy Bitcoin. I know that.
Right.
So that listing could be considered a big deal by some. Now, I know what you're thinking. What the heck are the use cases for EWT? Well, the first use case is that the tokens are used to pay gas payments. If you want to do something on the virtual machine, you have to pay for it. The validators essentially perform the same function as miners on the Ethereum mainnet, and those gas fees need to be paid. So, those transaction costs on the Energy Web chain are paid in EWT, and that enhances the security of the network by acting as a mechanism to prevent spamming. Actual use cases. A basic example of this is miners on the...
Crash, you brought up proof of authority. That is your proof of authority, basically. You have validators, and those validators get paid with these, and that's how the network is secured. You have basically no validator nodes.
Yeah, but those validator nodes are owned by the participants, right?
That's right.
Like the grid providers and producers and stuff like that, but not the consumers.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it's a little convoluted the way they do it. It's not. Is it? It's decentralized within their ecosystem.
Yeah, it's open source. They use proof of authority, which it's permissioned at the top, so the validators and the nodes and the grid providers can require permission for things, but at the bottom, the consumers, if you have a cell phone or you have a toaster or you have a refrigerator or an electric car, it's going to be permissionless, where you don't have a choice. That vehicle, that piece of electronic equipment is going to be interacting with the grid and sending back data to that blockchain, developing formulas for distribution of power. Will be that's the stated purpose for it.
Yeah, it's the whole energy thing really fascinates me, because you can, I'm not a big believer in wind. I've heard that is a complete hoax by the time you actually get energy to someone that can use it.
Mm-hmm.
But I know sun is everywhere and we don't use it. It's all wasted every day for the most part. And that is, it's powerful energy, especially the way that, when you read about what Musk is doing and stuff with Solar City. It's our houses. I mean, they could all be basically run for free. There's no question that you could run your house for free. I mean, there's no question, just from the sun. The
Yeah, I
tech
mean,
is there now.
the future is going to be technology on site to operate power grids.
Right.
But all this power transmission is needs to go away.
Yeah, and that's why these companies are jumping on board. That essentially to keep them in the game. If they don't, they can be shut out. I mean, Musk is what he's doing with solar power too, with energy and data and stuff. It's stunning, and it's just they better get on board. So that's why they're getting on board with this. So, all right, one little other section here. 1 second.
So, yeah, those transaction costs on the energy web chain are paid in EWT, and that enhances the security of the network by acting as a mechanism to prevent spamming. On top of the chain, there are also a plethora of potential use cases. A basic example of this could be something like an Ethereum name service. This is simply an easy way for someone to have a domain and interact with the energy web chain. That's a service that could be paid with EWT. And speaking about blockchain domains, I actually think these are one of the hottest blockchain assets around right now. So, if you're interested in picking my brains on this, then be sure to watch the video right here. Messaging is something that should also become a big thing for Energy Web. After all, most corporations adopting Energy Web are highly likely to want to send messages between digital identities anchored to the chain. Those messages and that messaging service could be paid for with EWT. However, all this doesn't...
So now we're paying for messaging with EWT? What?
Yeah.
Okay, sign me up.
Yeah, not only are they going to control every ounce of energy that you are allowed or consume, they are going to control everything you say and hear.
Let me pay for my text messaging now, and you can track it. Crash, come on, man. These guys...
Decentralized world is just going to crush this eventually. It already has. The technology's already there. I can send such completely encrypted,
probably not realistic, seeing that most of the people out there know next to nothing about crypto.
Already.
Also, utilities probably wouldn't like something like that to be enforced anyhow.
EWT. That's the thing.
The way I think about it is that the UDOS is the narrow waist of the infrastructure.
Well, I know. I'd feel better if
that narrow waist is powered by EWT, and that's what makes the decentralized operating system.
You're so cynical.
I mean, why would you not want to pay with EWT? That doesn't make any sense, Crash. All right, what did I have? I had one other thing.
1 million founder tokens will be locked up until June 2021. So
here's some about the tokens.
So the current circulating supply is about 30 million, and there is a supply cap of 100 million EWT. That means demand and supply considerations do play a role when it comes to pricing. In terms of the token distribution, here is a useful table with a breakdown. I got my calculator out, and it seems that the 10 million founder tokens will be locked up until June 2021. So, you don't have to worry about those hitting the market for a while. There are also around 20 million tokens allocated to the Energy Web Foundation. The important thing to note here is that because they are a foundation, it's actually impossible for the team to dump these tokens on the market for no good reason. That's because those Swiss regulators don't look too kindly upon things like market manipulation. So what that means is that Energy Web is very different to a project that is just a bunch of founders with very few, if any, actual controls, who joined the foundation in the funding rounds.
So, anyways, watch this whole video. It's fascinating. Give him a like and subscribe to. It was pretty thorough, Coin Bureau. But, you know, boy, it's what people don't realize too. There's such a concern of dumping of tokens and stuff, Crash. You know, they're going to release 10 million tokens in June or July. Mm-hmm. And I should sell Bitcoin. It's 50. I should sell it. 52, 54, 58, 60. Sell it. And go into what? Fiat?
Yeah, right.
That's the thing about this. Sure, you might like a different... The last thing you want to do is go back into fiat. you know? So,
Mm-hmm.
and these things, I mean, yeah, the tokenomics with this one are perplexing a little bit. So,
Yeah.
but I wanted to just introduce it to you guys because I'm convinced it's the premier energy play, and energy is, per the powers that be, there's going to be massive changes in energy, and I think that's why you have all these companies jumping on board. So,
Yeah, I think it was a good choice. I guess my final word on the whole thing is, if this is a really very nicely done video talking about the energy web token. If you want to, maybe get the other side of what might be going on, just watch the movie The Matrix.
right. Crash, I know you're a huge Matrix fan. That's true. This is true, my friend.
That's what they're going to do. They're going to steal our. It's just a new way of stealing our energy that we produce individually.
And really, that God produces. I mean, the sun.
Yeah, exactly. It's not.
It's all the energy that we need is the sun, and oil that's we're just swimming in, and water. I mean, it's amazing how sustainable that it was set up to be, but people got to make money.
It's a miracle.
Yeah, it is. It is. So here's their website. Any energy customer, any energy asset, any energy market, any energy tracking and charging. So, yeah, it's big partners, and yeah, these are some of the big ones. Teams, pretty good. I mean, boy, a lot of the companies that we cover, their teams are even better.
Mm-hmm.
They're quite better. I mean, you look at, you see your higher cryptos, their teams are, they're good.
Dynamic, man.
Yeah, they're so accomplished. They're just so accomplished. They've just been but these guys did get these energy companies to the table, which is a neat trick.
Yeah. And they're working with the Swiss government, which is very friendly for regulators.
Right.
So if you're working with regulators, it's easier to navigate through all the other big countries around the globe. If you have somebody like Switzerland helping you develop your system based on global governance.
Right. Man, I found a really good video that we're going to feature in one of our next shows. It's a short one, but it's just about who the players are in crypto, who the true players are in crypto, and it unfolds so much of the FUD that's going on out there. So, all right. So this next one, that's it for Energy Web. Drop any questions that you have for us, or any comments, anything that you want us to answer about Energy Web. We'll get you the information if we can. It's just good to have comments and talk amongst yourselves. I mean, I know it's a volume issue with all you guys out there, but and Crash, I mean, you're keeping up with all the comments and stuff, right? All right.
I'm trying, but
okay, good.
Most of them are about this. Wow, this is cool. Solar roof.
Right. Okay.
I want one of those. I want a solar roof. That's the answer right there.
Okay, so just wanted to introduce you to this young lady, Annabelle Huang. She's in crypto. She's in a company called ambergroup.io. Check that one out. Here's their website, which you can only see a portion of, but basically, yeah, so let's just play this real quick here.
You're based now in Asia. Maybe talk a little bit about what is the crypto scene like in Asia? What is kind of different than the United States? What is similar to the United States or North America when you think of those two different geographies?
Yeah, it is quite interesting. So I first got involved in crypto in New York, and then it was it's a very different crowd than what you see here in Hong Kong and the rest of Asia. I would say in New York or in the U.S. in general, I think people are a lot of projects. They're focused more on R&D, building out different techs. We see even with last year the whole DeFi boom, right? Most of the innovation are coming from the States, and then there are people building different chains out there, different blockchains out there other than Ethereum. Versus in Asia, or I guess in China, first of all, it's very casual business driven. So you see a lot of exchanges based in Asia, a lot of miners, and a lot of trading shops, just because I guess those are the more, readily cash flow driven businesses. But one thing I do feel, the biggest difference is just the sentiment. And the drive of people. Like I think in the States, just because there are a lot of regulatory constraints and concerns, people sometimes are more hesitant towards driving business forward. But in Asia, I think people are more eager to test things out, to get things going underground. So we do see, a lot of early adopters coming from Asia, maybe the tech team from the States, but I think a lot of people are more eager to participate in the ecosystem from Asia. So that I think it's a great combination. I think, again, taking DeFi as an example, last year, right, a lot of the liquidity mining programs or yield farming programs, I think it is driven from innovation from the States, but we see a lot of participants from Asia, and that really brought the ecosystem and bought community forward. So yeah, it's quite interesting to see that dynamic.
For sure. And so when you think through in the Asian market specifically, what is the advantage? Is it a certain type of regulatory regime? Is it a certain type of founder? Maybe is it some sort of cultural kind of framework or experience that people have as to why there's certain types of projects and kind of innovations that happen in Asia versus North America? Like, is there any kind of answer to like why is it different?
I think mentality, culturally, maybe. I think we see in Asia, I guess in Korea and Japan, it is hard for people to find yield anywhere, especially like I guess in Japan, right? All the yields are negative, and I think people are perhaps more inclined to find yield opportunities and more acceptable to new things. So that's why I think the crypto adoption in Korea and Japan are among the highest in the world. And I think in China, just because we have seen a incredible decade of the boom in internet product itself. So I think a lot of people are leveraging that experience, right, from the Tencent, Alibabas, etc., and leveraging that and applying it to crypto to build more products like exchanges or wallets, or more crypto finance servicing apps. So I think you do see that. I think first of all, people are more eager to do things, and they're more open to accept new things. And I think regulatory constraints definitely play a role. You see with Japan, right? They were really active in crypto, and now with more stringent regulatory requirements in place, I think that activity has since died down a little bit. But I think everybody, obviously in Asia, are still cognizant of the regulatory requirements. But I think they're just more willing to test out new things.
Absolutely.
All right. So interesting interview. You should listen to the whole thing once again. So she's someone that actually came to the U.S. And then to study, to go to college and stuff, and then went back there to work. But man, what struck me with this is just, sometimes you forget there are, billions of people and investors and trillions of dollars that's looking for yield. And it's nowhere to be found. I mean, you go over to Asia, you're not getting yield. It's negative pretty much everywhere. So
yeah, that's why I bring up yield to some friends of mine, and when we're talking about cryptocurrencies, and they're like, well, how can they do that? How can they provide yield?
what, the cryptos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, the dynamics are completely different than the traditional system.
Yeah. It's not a bank. That's why they're not a broke bank.
Yeah.
That's dependent on the current banking system that does not work. You know, that's the thing. You're getting paid to hold down a network and to invest in this technology. So it's a fascinating dynamic, and don't worry, because the U.S. is going to be there. I mean, we're spiraling there. I don't know how you can stay away from negative yields. I've been stunned that we've been able to so far, but we're getting there slowly but surely. It's nominally it's negative, but
right. And we would be probably grossly negative if we weren't printing so much money.
right. And it's a way to get the spending. That's what the digital dollar is about. To me, it's about going negative interest rates. And then here's your dollar, spend it now. You can only spend it on this stuff at this time, and then it expires. And if it sits in your bank, you're going to actually pay a fee for it. So
No, that's not going to work for me. Sorry.
it's coming. It's exciting.
Sorry, I won't be part of that system. I will not be part of that system.
Crash. You will, and you're going to like it. You're not only going to be part of it, you're going to like it.
I don't think so.
All right. So, ambergroup.io, I looked into that a little bit. They're a gateway to crypto for institutions, and so it's kind of an interesting site. It's Asian based, but that's where she works. But
yeah, they say they have some of the best stuff going right now. That's for sure.
yeah, she said she went back there and she tried to pay with some cash. Like, she was in a cab and she tried to pay with some cash or a credit card. And they kind of argued after a while. They're like, just get out. They basically gave her a free cab ride because everything's just on your phone. Boom, here you go.
Yeah. Everything, you pull up your QLR code to your phone and you scan it, and everything's done that way in China.
Yep, and they're always ahead of us tech-wise, so that's coming.
There's a really good video out showing how all that works and how far ahead China is.
Yeah, and that's coming, and negative rates are coming. So that's how I see it. Anyways,
okay.
What else do we have, Crash? So hit the like and subscribe, people. Do your own research. Hopefully you guys like this for today, and I'm out of here, Crash. You can hang out, but I'm out.
Oh, I got to run. I have darts tonight.
See you later, folks. All right, Crash. Man, you are long.
Really?
You
a dog like this one. This is what we're coming down to as far as coins, huh?
Dog, come on, dude. You're the sleeper. You're the one that puts up the snoozers.
We shouldn't call you Eddie. We should call you Mr. Anderson.
Oh, my God. Mr. Rogers?
Mr. Anderson from The Matrix.
Oh, geez. I don't know. This is interesting to me. We'll see. We got some good ones. And you got the next pick, my friend, so you better pick a winner.
Oh, yeah. There's so many good ones out there. This is interesting. I'm glad you picked it, because now I know what not to invest in.
Yeah, I'm not going to download their wallet, man. I was thinking about it, but you know what? Forget it.
I just don't want to dabble in the dark side.
I like then you're not in crypto. Why are you in crypto?
No, there's lots of crypto that's not in the
Tell me one crypto and we'll find the dark side, because it's there.
No, Bitcoin.